Overwatch 2, as of today, beholds a total of 38 playable heroes, and perhaps even 39 if we want to count in the Moana dude. With this wide of a roster and each hero carefully designed with their own unique, awesome and BS abilities, it is more than obvious that some abilities will be better than others, but today we are going to go in the opposite direction. Today I want to find out what is the most useless ability in the entire game, but since we also have divisions between the roles, I'll firstly go by each role separately to decide which ability out of the heroes from that pool is the least practical, and then compare the final three to end up with a nice cohesive verdict. And one last thing before we start this video, I'm trying my best to catch up and hopefully even pass my buddy Kendall over here in subscribers. We're both quite small channels, so if you want to help me out and join the prestigious I was here before 1 million club, then press that subscribe button. And now, enjoy the video. The first role we're going to tackle are the fat and greasy supports. You might think that the easiest way to find the least impactful abilities is just looking for the shortest cooldown, but if we apply this logic, then apparently the orbs of Zenyatta are the clear winner in this category, right? Wrong! Zenyatta's kit relies solely on these two orbs, so saying they deserve the most useless ability in the game title is at least stupid. That's why I think we should disregard the cooldowns and try to think of those abilities as they are overall, considering how useful they are to the user and for the targeted allies or enemies. If you aren't convinced about this logic, then a friendly reminder that other abilities on practically no cooldown are abilities such as Bridget's shield, which is a nice additional 250 health points, or Kiriko's wall climb, where both help the mentioned hero survive otherwise lethal situations. Also a nice moment to throw in that I do not consider the primary fires of the heroes as the abilities I will be ranking here, because if I did, the Bridget's mace would be a clear winner, so no shock here. A lot of rambling about everything and nothing, but trust me when I say it was necessary to decide that the very first contenders for this list are the Petal platform of Lifeweaver and surprisingly Resurrect of Mercy. I think there is much more to explain about the res, so first let me explain why the Peter platform. The flower pad can be useful, as all of the abilities of our support friends, but out of them all, the platform just doesn't shine as bright as the other ones. Sure, it can get your team to some high grounds, but that requires a lot of cooperation from your teammates, and it does come in handy when you have no other escape tool other than the platform, but when you already get use out of it and get out of that dangerous zone, it already served its purpose. When you use it mid-fights, most of the people just ignore it unless it's directly blocking their way, but even then it's easily destroyed due to its size and not enormous health pool. To all the life winner players, I know the possibilities of this ability are enormous, but those are niche situations that other abilities prove to be more effective, more reliable and more accessible. You can life grip your allies into those advantageous spots you create with the platform, but that's the life grip's value, not the platform's. Imagine if Kiriko, instead of having a teleport, she would have the life grip ability. She could access many more mega good spots on the map simply with her wall climb and get the allies there just as effective as you could with the platform. And honestly, I don't know a single person who, once getting life gripped on the flower, stays on it longer than 1 second. Now let's talk about Resurrect. This ability is a high risk, high reward kind of gameplay. Of course, there is no punishment for reviving your allies in your backline, where it's safe and you can take your time and you know, do whatever you want there. But when you're in the middle of a team fight, it is very difficult to get value of this ability, not only because it makes you very vulnerable, but also because it takes a lot of time to finish. The longest cooldown in the game doesn't help the situation. Additionally, you need to get right on top of the body you want to bring back to life, which usually means your positioning skills are taking a nap for a moment, just so you can be a brave hero and either carry the fight or die trying. This really doesn't sound like a wonderful design, and with it being either the most useful ability in the game or straight up trolling, makes it fall into the zone of mediocrity, whereas other abilities are good no matter the situations. Death preventing abilities like Lamp or the Unholy Suzu can save your allies before they die, so you don't have to risk your own life to save someone else's. Okay, let's leave those two behind, we'll get back to them later. And now, the damage category, aka the most useless part of any team. Same as supports, there are some abilities with basically no cooldown, but are useful for that specific character nonetheless, and most of the abilities do damage themselves, which definitely cannot be considered useless, like the Helix rockets, Junkrat mines, or even the Venom trap of Widow. So what we're looking for in this role is the least versatile and powerful utility or mobility ability, like Reaper's teleport or Sombra's translocator. So once again, we're going to have two of them to have some space for discussion, and those skills being Hanzo's Leap and McCree's Combat Roll. Every other movement skill of the damaged heroes is drastically more powerful, like Pharah's Jump Jet that gives huge vertical thrust, Sojourn's Slide that not only grants some speed but also the hyper jump at the end. Ash's Coach Gun is just fantastic, even pathetic abilities like Soldier's Sprint or Symmetra's Teleporter are better than the Leap or Roll, so let's swiftly figure out why. The Leap on Hanzo is an ability that has been added somewhere in the middle of his lifespan, so for quite some time Hanzo was doing pretty well without that ability in the first place, which might already be enough to deem it useless, but it cannot be overlooked that indeed it grants him very quick and simple mobility that might be needed in some risky situations like getting dived or repositioning from point A to point B. Also, its short cooldown allows the bowman to use it aggressively with little to no punishment, so getting some sneaky corner picks here and there. The combat roll on the other hand just thrusts you in your chosen direction, and just like Hanzo's jump, this roll can also defy gravity itself. It's a great last-ditch effort to save yourself from getting environmental killed, and a nice engage or disengage tool. For now, it looks like both abilities do the exact same thing, but combat roll has one more ace up its sleeve, that is the instant full reload. This means the roll can be a part of some higher damage combo and can add some very needed DPS when trying to take down the enemy tank fast, or it's just a convenient moment to have a full clip back up and ready. That's why I think there's no need to carry on two abilities from this section, so for now the Leap will be the winner of the damage category. Lastly, there are the tanks, and in my opinion this is the hardest category because it feels like every single ability usage matters very heavily. Even something as simple as a shield in some cases makes up about 50% of the tank's utility, like Sigma. Can you imagine how weak and useless this tank would be without his shield? Or even better, try to comprehend that there might be a timeline where Reinhardt is a shieldless character. Quite scary. After carefully looking through every single hero, I have chosen 4 spots in this category, so stay with me, this will be a tough one. Firstly, there's Orisa and her Spear Spin. It does a lot, but in a very short duration, so it's not anything massive, as even if it's versatile, it's not phenomenal at anything. The speed boost is welcome, but it's not as good as Winston's Jump or Reinhardt's Charge. Eating projectiles? That sounds like the job for Diva, not Orisa. Knocking back the enemies? Once again, Winston comes in with his ultimate ability, but if you want to do the job better and safer, you can just throw the damn thing instead of just spinning it. Secondly, there's the purple vortex of Ramatra, which does a pathetic amount of damage, but considering its slow statistic, it can easily help secure some kills, especially while in the Nemesis form. The pulling down is also not game-changing, more so annoying at most, but it's still nothing when compared to other CC abilities of tanks like Roadhog's Hook or his brand new Trap. Thirdly, there's the eBay version of Rocket Barrage that are the Diva's micro missiles, which can do big damage, but you need to be very close to your enemies to actually accomplish anything with those. Additionally, they're not that easy to land, so about 50% of them will fly out to the sky, miss completely, or hit someone you didn't even know existed in the background. And lastly, there's the Doomfist block, that reduces damage taken heavily, can charge his fist and help him survive in some clutch situations, and that is if enemies even decide to shoot at you while you're blocking. Most of the times, players already learned to not shoot at the blocking Doomfist, which creates those awkward situations where you just stare at the enemies while holding your fist up. That will conclude the research section, so now all I have to do is conclude the 3 final abilities to compare to each other, and we should get a clear winner just like that. Out of the damage category, we have the Hanzo's Leap. From the supports, I have decided to end up on the Peter platform, as it will never achieve the same amount of value as the Res, even if it fails half of the time. And from the tank section, I present to you the Ravenous Vortex, because even if you do get hit by it, you rarely care to even leave its zone, whereas other abilities pose a real threat to the enemies and force them to act, or to freeze in place at least. This means that out of the Jump, Plant, or the Anti-Jump, the ultimate title of the most useless ability in the entire game of Overwatch 2 will go to Hanzo's Leap. There is no doubt that out of the final 3, the simple jump is the most useless out of them all. So congratulations, Hanzo, you have once again proven that you're the worst hero in this game in another part of it. If you enjoyed the video, then make sure to press those buttons below, and if you disagree or agree with me, then share your opinion in the comments. I'll gladly read all of those, and trust me, I reply to every single comment because I am a very tiny channel. So don't be shy, just comment down below what do you think, or maybe what do you disagree with me on. And for now, thanks for watching, have a lovely day, bye bye.